So let's be honest here. Let's be genuinely honest, because both you and I know that when we first see Yonko Kaido,
海賊として7度の敗北を喫し、海軍または敵船に捕まること18。
we didn't think that Kaido going into Wano Country would be the kind of guy that he is. Because Kaido right now is looking fairly impressive. As a villain, he has tremendous potential. And Kaido already, as a villain, has been fairly impressive. But going into this arc, you wouldn't think that. No, of course not. At the beginning, when Kaido fell 10k, I think most of us, including myself, really simply thought of Kaido as, well, just that, simple. A war-hungry monster who ran to the jaws of his enemies to kill them and kill himself, quite frankly. A simple drunk man, entity, if you would, who was just an agent of chaos, like the old school Joker. You can't control him, you can't contain him. All he wants to do is see the world flip on its head.
Everything burns.
That's all Kaido wanted. And knowing after the fact that Kaido had left Wano Country Onigashima to go to Balloon Terminal to kill himself. No. Kaido, clearly a fan of Cocoa Puffs, because he was going cuckoo constantly.
Go for Cocoa Puffs! Go for Cocoa Puffs!
It was ridiculous. Even his intro card back then was very deceptive in hindsight, because all they tell you is Kaido's strength and how no one could kill him. Land, sea, and air, Kaido is the strongest creature alive. Alright? And even when we do arrive to Wano Country stuff for the first time, in Act 1, Act 2, Kaido has that epic, tremendously epic scene when he forms from the storm clouds. And then he eviscerates Oden Castle and the mountain with that one blast breath. But he was drunk off his ass. So drunk, toward the entire time he's burping and and he's saying, Drake, give me those breaths. If it was for these meddling kids, Joker would still be around. Even Hawkins could easily sway Kaido to destroy Oden Castle. Again, he's a drunk and he's sloppy as all hell. Still a giant mythical dragon, but still, okay, like we kind of get Kaido. At least that's what we assumed. Because Act 3, Kaido built different. Whoa, Kaido built very different in Act 3. And I think Oda deserves props here. I think he does deserve some pluses. Because Kaido's character development, not character growth, character development, has been pretty damn good. Yeah. To the point where I think Kaido is on pace to perhaps be the best villain in the entire series. The entire series. Yes. I like what I'm seeing there from Kaido. Absolutely. So, real quick, if you are an anime-only watcher of One Piece, I suggest that you bounce. You bounce like Bugs Bunny. Whether it's Warner Brothers or Meat Canyon.
It stinks.
You bounce like Bugs, because the spoilers are coming afoot. And I'm helping you out, okay? I do try and make my things, nowadays at least, I do try and keep things spoiler-free, but I'm not perfect, okay? So, I'll see you guys and gals on the flip side. If you're still here, and you are also not perfect, then us as non-perfect human beings should help your boy out with a thumbs up, with a subscription, and clicking on that bell to join the notification squad. Bless your hearts. Thank you very much. Arigato gozaimasu. Now, again, we had an idea of Kaido in our minds going into Wano Country, and even in Wano Country, it kind of maintained form, but Act 3 really did change the game for Kaido as a villain. Whether it is Kaido's insight and his knowledge of certain subjects, whether it is his ruthlessness, yet at the same time, potentially his honor, whether it is Kaido's dream, it is very clear that Oda had shown us just the tip of the iceberg, And over the course of Act 3, we have been slowly unveiling what's below the surface of the water. And my goodness, it seems to be fairly large. And the first thing I gotta talk about is the Oden flashback. The first thing was him making the military decision to fight Oden in Wano country rather than in Onigashima. Now, granted, he had a newly built castle there, clearly, so, you know, don't have his whole new pad destroyed, but at the same time, I think that was a very good military choice, where if you can, you do want to catch your foes by surprise, and not wait for the fight, but bring the fight to them. Look at me. Look at your boy! I should be a colonel! I should be a general in the military. Hey, yo, sign me up.
Oh, hell no!
After I lose like 100 LBs. Yes. Once that happens, make me colonel at the bare minimum. Now, I like what I saw from Kaido. But then afterwards, when Kaido decided to kill the Baba, Kurozumi Higurashi, because she distracted Oden, Kaido again killed her afterwards. And I thought that was a very interesting moment for Kaido's character. That was the first sign where Kaido had a lot more depth to him than I first thought. He killed her despite her helping him out. Hey. Okay. The Oden flashback. That's when I started to see the depth of Yonko Kaido. And then moving forward now, we have in real time seeing the Beast Pirate crew for the first time. The overall model of survival of the fittest, where any of the Todoropo can challenge a elite performer and be the next Jack, Queen, or King. That is very much in lockstep with who Kaido is, or at least who Kaido portrays himself to be. Yes, but I will get that can of worms a whole nother video on a whole nother day. So once again, this is in lockstep with who Kaido is, and it clearly does keep his men's skill sharp. Now after that, it was Kaido killing a roach in front of everyone, and then in one fell swoop, taking in the Mimimori Gumi and the Oni Wabashu, and then unveiled the new Onigashima project. Wow, wow! This man, aiming for, with of course Big Mom, aiming for the One Piece ancient weapons, making Wano country their stronghold because of its natural geographic advantage, and then having Yamato be the boss of Wano country, Onigashima, making it to a new pirate haven. That was a big play. So far removed from the Kaido that was portrayed before Act 3. Woo! Kaido's IQ jumped at that point in time by like 50 points. It was insane. The man had just passed 110 IQ. Whoa. Well done, Kaido. Well done. And then also a comment too, afterwards, was him giving Momo an out, I think. Right before the Scabbards came to attack him in chapter 986, that really caught my interest, yo. Where he gave Momo a chance to survive. He even said, I would apologize if there was a mistake on my part. And then Momo said his name proudly, I am Kozuki Momonosuke. What we see with Kaido, I think we see Kaido hesitate. Like, do I really want to do this right now? Kaido, very intriguing. And then, of course, finally, lately, when he references Joy Boy. Joy Boy. That is wow. Telling Luffy as he falls, you couldn't be Joy Boy either, it seems, in the Viz translation. And then mentioned to Yamato, a few chapters later, that he would not be leaving Wano country because it is Wano, implying that Kaido is aware of some greater importance of the country itself. Kaido has become a much deeper character than I thought he would be, and it's great to say that. It really, really is. The fact that Kaido is this mysterious, this systematic, and knowledgeable, despite not even having a Kaido flashback or a Rocks pirate flashback. Oh man, woo! Not even the full scope of his relationship with Yamato has been revealed at this point in time. And we haven't even seen Kaido look at Momonosuke in dragon form yet, which I argue should be a really big thing for Kaido. Absolutely it should be. I think these are really good signs ahead for Kaido's character. Absolutely, absolutely. And furthermore, the contrast between, again, Kaido in Act 3 of Wano Country versus Kaido in Act 2, Act 1, and then before Wano Country, I think is some good writing on Oda's part. Kaido arguably has the potential to be the best written villain in One Piece. And a large part of that, I think, resides on how Kaido knows what he knows. What's going on there? How does Kaido know about Joy Boy? How does Kaido know that Wano Country is so pivotal, so important? And from here on, now we theory craft a bit. Ooh. Because I think moving forward, we're gonna see possibly one of these options that I have laid out. When we do have this reveal on why Kaido knows what he knows, it's going to further elevate Kaido's character and him as a villain for the series. So, the first thing, let's roll through them. Number one would be, okay, he peeped the Oden journal. Really the most obvious choice here, where it's the log of damn near everything. Not everything, but damn near everything, like close to it, okay? And obviously the key sign here would be that Momonosuke, when he was reading it, he knew right then and then that he couldn't die yet, implying that he has learned something very important about Wano Country and his heritage that ties to Wano Country. So it could be that simple, where Kaido just slid on the DMs and he peeped that when Yamato wasn't home. Though I shouldn't say it that way because that's his daughter. Son. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna stop. The whole point here is that at some point Kaido read Oden's log. He read the journal. However, considering how Yamato wanted to beat Oden and carry Oden's will since Yamato was 8 years old, and since Kaido has been beating Yamato for years, even imprisoned Yamato in Onigashima, and Yamato said, this for me is a treasure. It is my treasure. Alright? I can't imagine at all Yamato giving Kaido a chance to even know about its existence, let alone reading the damn thing. Honest to goodness, this, I think, is not what happened. I don't think that Kaido has ever actually read Oden's log. I don't think so. I think it's too simple, too straightforward. I think it's far deeper than that. And what's deeper, more complex than the log of Oden would be the poneglyphs. Now this one, I don't think it's a thing, but I have seen it out about on the ether, on the web, so I might as well address it right now. I don't think so, I really don't, but here we go. Because the poneglyphs, Kaido has access to multiple of them. And Law found one in Onigashima, that's blue, and Brook Pryor in Wano Country, that's also blue. But if Kaido could somehow find out what's on the blue poneglyphs, maybe they talk about the history of Wano Country. However, it is really unlikely that Kaido would find out about what's on the poneglyphs, because the first thing, actually, like the key thing you could argue, is Kaido was talking to Big Mom about Pudding, and how Pudding has not awoken her powers just yet as a member of the Three-Eyed Tribe. So this implies, obviously, that Kaido has no idea what's on the poneglyphs. Kaido or any of this crew probably, I'm gonna say probably don't have the voice. Could you imagine, yo? It's safe to assume that no Beast Pirate member has the voice of all things, okay? To don't understand the poneglyphs, yes, okay? I'm gonna say 99.99995% chance, okay? And I did hear about a theory about how King the Wildfire could be a part of another race that could understand the poneglyphs. And I'm like, I'm gonna say no. I think it's very, very contrary to his comments on Pudding to Big Mom, so I don't think so. Now, Oden, we know, couldn't pass his knowledge of the ancient language to Momonosuke, but there is a theory that Sukiyaki is Tenguyama Hitetsu, and he would know the ancient language, because Oden learned it from him. But I highly, highly doubt, even if it was excruciating torture on the part of Kaido and Orochi and so on, I highly doubt that Sukiyaki would ever cooperate with Kaido. Again, even under extreme torture. So going from there, we have to go back in time, because the third thing ties to the Oden flashback and the Rocks pirates. So it's a safe bet that Kurozumi Higurashi and Semimaru were on the Rocks pirate crew, because Higurashi does have the face of a young Shiki via the Mane Mane no Mi. At the very least, it's safe to say that Kaido and them, they were acquainted before Kaido came to Wano Country, maybe after the Rocks pirates disbanded, because Wiper does arrive to Wano Country first, and then Kaido does later on. So maybe they met during that time frame, where after they disbanded with the Rocks pirates, then Kaido met Semimaru and Higurashi. Maybe. So what if Higurashi and Semimaru knew something about the importance of Wano Country and told Kaido to go to Wano Country, and they went there first as scouts, if you would, to make sure that everything was okay for Kaido to slide on in, which they actually did. Yeah, they did do that. But maybe they told Kaido to go there in the first place because they knew something, they talked about this something, and they would hope that Kaido would be the one to usher this something for them. But this, I think, is extraordinarily unlikely. Number one, obviously, they're not Kozuki, so they don't know about the ancient language of the poneglyphs. Number two, they have to escape Wano Country in the first place because of persecution. So I think it's very, very unlikely that Higurashi or Semimaru had any details available to them about the importance of Wano Country and Joy Boy and things like that. I highly doubt it. But I am covering all my bases here. It is what it is.
It is what it is.
However, a better option, a substantially much better option, is the man himself, Rocks D. Sebek. Maybe Rocks did fill in Kaido at some point during his time with the Rocks Pirate crew on Wano Country. Because even though Sengoku did say that Rocks wanted to be king of the world, he also did say that Rocks did break many taboos of the world. And to me, that means he dabbled in the poneglyph and void century content, the hidden things of the world that he might have felt he needed to know if he was going to conquer the world. So in the process of breaking all these taboos, he would find out about Joy Boy. He would find out about Wano Country and why Wano Country is such an important place, which would probably be one of the reasons why he went to God Valley in the first place. And also keep in mind that the day Rocks fell, Big Mom gave Kaido the fish fruit model Azure Dragon. So the question here would be, did she have that fruit prior to God Valley, or did she find the fruit on God Valley? And then also, maybe of course, one of the reasons why he went to God Valley, Rocks D. Sebek in the first place, was to get the fish fruit model Azure Dragon. Since the abilities are Japanese myth themed, this could have some underlining meaning for Wano Country and the ability itself. Meaning that there is something important with Wano Country that can only be accessible to someone that has the ability of the fish fruit model Azure Dragon, specifically. Because recently, there was something about Yamato's fruit in Lace Chapter One Piece, where the fruit apparently was not intended for her. So what did Kaido intend to do with the fruit in the first place? And did that fruit have a greater meaning to it? Potentially, like, again, the Azure Dragon fruit. You have to wonder. There could be something there where the fruit has importance, the actual country itself, which is why Momonosuke's fruit will probably be one of the main keys there. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir!
Because Oda is absolutely building up for that. Now, I think, in a general sense, the idea of Rocks telling Kaido about this, I think it's actually pretty solid. that Rocks was the key source of Kaido's information about Wano Country. But there is a monkey wrench or monkey wrenches to this idea. There absolutely is. Because if Kaido knew about Joy Boy and the importance of Wano Country from Rocks, then why hasn't Big Mom mentioned anything about Wano's importance or even Joy Boy? Big Mom just came here to do one thing: kill Luffy. That was her MO. I'm gonna kill this punk. He disrespected me. He disrespected the big bitch. You don't do that. Hell no. Someone needs some spankings with a paddle. Not messing around, Big Mom. Hell no. So Big Mom has come there for one thing: to kill Luffy. But she hasn't mentioned at all the importance of Wano Country or Joy Boy. In fact, she doesn't seem to care at all about Wano Country, period. Now, maybe she does know, but doesn't care. Which I think is kind of weird, since just like Kaido, she co-signed the idea of finding the One Piece, ancient weapons, and ushering a world of violence. And Wano Country is extraordinarily pivotal to that. And again, no Joy Boy mentions at all, which to me means that Kaido understands more about the ancient history of the world than Big Mom does. At this point in time, of course. She may have mad giant intel, that's very possible. But at this point in time, Kaido knows about Joy Boy, where she apparently does not. And what's even still weird is Whitebeard. Whitebeard not a single time seemed to care or note to the importance of Wano Country as a location. Not even during the Marco flashback. Not a single time was that, oh, well, it's Wano, or it's the Wano Country, or Wano Country's important. Not a single time. The man actually wanted to avoid. He wanted to avoid Wano Country in the Oden flashback. For him, the place was mad cringe. Not what? Ooh, please, I don't want to go back. No, the place sucks. When they arrived to Wano Country for the first time in chapter 963, Whitebeard states specifically in the Viz translation, quote, "We went up the falls, right? Why is there sea and land all the way up here?" So Whitebeard didn't know jack diddly squat about Wano Country. And then on top of that, we do know that after Roger became Pirate King, him and Whitebeard were having sake cups under a cherry blossom tree, not in Wano Country, but they were talking about the Will of D. So if Whitebeard didn't know about the Will of D and the importance of Wano Country, what are the odds of him knowing about Joy Boy? They're slim. But if Rocks D. Sebek knew these things, then why didn't Whitebeard? The idea here in that case would be that Rocks would tell specifically Kaido. But why? And then maybe the last part gets to this too. But the last part I think is actually the more likely case among all the cases so far, which is why I said it for last. You're damn right.
You're goddamn right.
And so if you got this far, much love to you, number one. Number two, give your boy just another, if you can, another thumbs up, which I know is impossible, whatever, fine. A thumbs up, a subscription, and click on that bell. Double tap the bell, triple tap the bell to make sure that you join the notification squad. Much love. Muchas gracias. Now, number four, I think, simply put, it's legacy.
Your mother's dead. Before long, I'll be dead. And you. And your brother. And your sister. And all of her children. All of us dead. All of us rotting in the ground. It's the family name that lives on. It's all that lives on.
I sound like Tywin Lannister right now. The legacy of Kaido's people and the role they played centuries ago and or might play in the future of the series. This would be information that Kaido learned before he joined the Rocks pirate crew as an apprentice. I believe that Kaido, that Yamato, and maybe even Black Maria are part of a sub-race of ancient giant or giants that are themed after Oni. Now, I've done a video of this before, talking about how Kaido was not actually a dragon, that his people were actually modeled after Oars' race. And we now know that he, in fact, is not a dragon. Mythical ancient dragons are not things in the One Piece world, at least so far. I think that Kaido's people are an ancient race that have been around for a long time, an ancient sub-race of ancient giants, okay? And they are modeled after Oars' people, Little Oars Jr. and so on, but they're a more condensed form. Like, think of a Bleach, Menos Grande, and then a Vastalorde. Like, you just condense that down. An example here would be, we've never seen the females of the ancient giants, but if we do, their horn structure could be just like Black Maria's or Yamato's horn structure, where they're red on top and they kind of fade to the skin color on the bottom. Just how Kaido's horn structure is very similar, if not identical, to the horn structure of Little Oars Jr. and the original Oars, not just zombie that you see in Thriller Bark. It's the exact same bone structure for his horns. The exact same. So I believe that Kaido's race must have knowledge about Joy Boy and Wano Country passed down from generation to generation. This is actually a very similar thing that we see with Wiper and Skypiea. Okay, and Skypiea, I think, has a lot. Well, I know it has a metric ton of ties to the overall mythos and lore of the story, and so many important places across the One Piece. If you skipped it, you're a fool. It's that simple. Fool. Just how with Wiper and the lore and the legend of Kalgara was passed down from generation to generation, the same thing I think would apply here to the Continent Puller legend. The Continent Puller legend, which I think is what we see as a result for Wano Country. Because Wano Country looks like it's a bunch of islands slapped together. It doesn't look natural at all. The country has a lot of different environments. The Udon area is more of a wasteland compared to Ringo, where it's constantly snowing, compared to Flower Capital. You get my point here. It looks like it's islands just slapped together. And of course, the biggest thing here is knowing that Onigashima was a wasteland before Kaido built his castle there in the shape of the ancient giant / Oni skull that we see. But what's more likely is within the skull dome structure that already existed on the island itself. Because that is probably the place where the ancient giants, who, mind you, at this point in time, what we see with the number giants, they just so happen to fit quite snugly on Onigashima. And these structures there are built very enlarged for a reason, I think. Yes. I think Kaido did these things in commemoration to the legacy of his people. And once again, I think that Kaido got this intel about Joy Boy and about the opponents of Wano Country from before he was a member of the Rocks Pirates, which he got from the elders of this species of people that we have yet to really get a full grasp of. So out of all of the options that I listed, I think that's the best option so far. Again, it could be as simple as he peeped the journal and that's really that. Or Rocks told him. Okay, fair enough. But I would try and go a little bit deeper. But even still, if it's not that, the potential for Kaido as a villain is still clearly there, and it's there in spades. And I'm happy to say that, because Oda has done a pretty good job thus far. And again, there's no Kaido flashback yet, and no Rocks flashback yet, which will continue to, of course, elaborate more on Kaido's character. So, I look forward for Oda has to offer next, and I'm gonna see you guys and gals on the flip side. Let me know what you think on the subject matter at hand. You people stay safe, take care, have a nice one.